their shoes on. But other than that, this is your room over here, okay? Your room is definitely not on the mats for any purpose. If you need to talk to Holly, she's over there too, I guess. So you can run over there, but you are not watching practice from over there is what I'm getting at. Okay, that's the kids' locker room. I hate that I have to say this do not bang on that glass. Unless the building's on fire, do not bang on that glass. Nothing drives me more crazy than parents, especially at Westside, yelling over my rail or banging on glass to try to get if the building's on fire, bang on the glass. Otherwise, please don't. If you need to leave practice early, let us know. Just give us a heads up, wave at us, we can send your kid out, okay? Number 10 is the biggest new thing on here. We are having a massive problem with this on my side of town. I don't know about over here as much. We have a pull up, parents drop their kids off and they run in with their wrestling shoes on. Do not wear your wrestling shoes from outside to inside. It's not as much about it tracks in dirt, it tracks in mud, things that their face are going to get rubbed in, and it's just not cool. So I may be talking fast. I ran way too long at the other one. I don't want to be here all night for you guys' sake. I don't want to run an hour and a half with you. So I'm going to run through this quickly. If you have questions, feel free to shoot a hand up, holler at me. Practice attire, you guys know this. 2 things. I don't like hoodies or pants with pockets. Fingers get caught in those things. Get fingers broke, things like that. That is the purpose. All right, pockets with the younger guys is not a huge deal. But try to wear shorts or pants that don't have pockets. And I don't allow hoodies for any reason. Or if you have a hoodie and they absolutely need to wear it for some reason, tuck the hood down in it. Headgear is always optional contenders. Some of you think I'm crazy for that. The reason isn't that I don't want to protect your child's ears. The reason is I don't have time to check 50 kids to make sure they have headgear on. So you want them to wear headgear, we will make them leave it on if they come into the room with it. Okay, like put it on them, tell them, talk to them, require them to wear it. I will make them wear it because I don't want any moms mad at me, okay, about their kids' ears. But if they don't come in the room with it, I'm not like sending them back out to grab it. Okay, so if you want them to have headgear on, you need to make sure it's on when they get in the building. Okay, skin diseases. This one's a little bit of a long speech I give every year. A couple things about skin diseases. A, if your kid wrestles any length of time, they will get ringworm. I have never met a person who wrestled that did not end up with ringworm. Okay, ringworm is just part of this sport. It's an unfortunate part, but it's a reality. Okay, if you have ringworm, I would like it covered with tape, with a shirt, with pants, whatever we need to do. If we need to wear long sleeves. If it is fresh, guys, if it is bright red ringworm on their face or something we cannot cover, take a night off. Put some medicine on it for 2 days and then come in. Once it starts to dry, I'm good. Okay? But coming in here with fresh ringworm is not cool. So as long as it's coverable or dried out a little bit, that's fine. But bright red ringworm is it's just not cool for anybody. Don't do it to anybody else. You wouldn't want done to your kids. I am a firm believer in defense soap wipes. I wish they'd had these when I was a kid at wrestling. If you drive more than 5 minutes away from this building to get home, you need defense soap wipes. And I say that for your sake. I sell them at cost. That's literally what they cost to get to me and ship to me. You don't have to buy them from me. Buy them off Amazon. They're a little more expensive. Buy them from Defense Soap. I don't care. But the minute you leave here and you drive 40 minutes home, and then you do your homework, and then you change, they play outside or they play on the Xbox, and then right before bed you have them shower, I guarantee you they're here ringworm. Okay? You need to wipe off with those Defense Soap wipes and shower the minute you get home. This is 2 things about soap. Most kids' soap is not antibacterial. Body soap is not typically antibacterial soap. You need to get them some that is. Defense Soap is great. I also recommend Head and Shoulders. That sounds dumb, but I have my kids wash their entire body with Head and Shoulders or any anti-dandruff shampoo because it's actually got antifungal medicine in it. Okay, so it will keep ringworm off of them. So any kind of dandruff shampoo actually has antifungal stuff in it. So if you don't want Defense Soap, Head and Shoulders is fine too. Please have them showered. As soon as they get home. I don't know why I have to say that, but don't go home and eat. Don't go home and do other things, especially if you don't have Defense Soap wipes. Cool? coach's discretion. If you have something nasty, and my coach tells you, hey, you can't practice tonight, I don't want to hear about it. Like, they have discretion, whether it be Brock, Sean, myself, one of my assistant coaches. If they make the call, hey, that is pussing and it is nasty and you are not getting on the mat. You might be mad at me, but we're going to keep that stuff off our mats. The mats get mopped every day, okay? We use all the right mat cleaners, all that stuff. Typically where we start to have outbreaks of this stuff is when we start tournaments, we bring it home, we bring it back here, okay? That's also a good place to use a defense soap wipe after every match. I should be branding their stuff for them, I really don't. But use that stuff at meets, I promise you. Last thing I want to say about this, if you get ringworm in your hair or anywhere you have hair follicles, this is a huge problem. The reason it is a huge problem is you think you're drying it up and then their hair starts to grow and it brings it right back to the surface of their head. If you get it in your hair, just as a recommendation from me, I would go to a doctor. They have a pill you can take. It's actually like a fungal Lamisil pill. I wouldn't take it all the time because I don't think it's great for your liver or something, but if you get it in your hair, you will not typically clear it out of their hair with just cream, okay? So, hit the doctor, get what you need for that stuff. I'm gonna talk about practice groups in a little bit. If you're ever at the west side, we have a sibling room, it's lower. I prefer siblings stay downstairs, meaning you have a toddler running around. I prefer they stay in the soundproof room versus the upstairs, but that's over there. Wrestler's locker room, this is something we need to talk about. This is the first, I have probably 25 plus girls now, okay? So this is the reality. Nobody should be super changing clothes in our locker room. I tell the boys this, you need to go in a locker room, girls this, go in the bathroom to change clothes. However, people are going to weigh in. I think we're all used to seeing people in their underwear weighing in at tournaments. But I would prefer, if we're changing clothes, I tell it, high school boys sometimes don't think of nothing of it. They'll just start stripping down and changing clothes. So I tell the kids, I'm telling you, nobody needs to be changing clothes in that room. Also, I don't like pants in the locker room. Again, you need to help your little kid get his shoes on, great, but just parents hanging out in the locker room, it's kind of weird, it's not cool. So we're not gonna do that. All right, this is one of the new key points. I wanna point this out to you, tournaments. I'm gonna talk about all of them, but I'm gonna start with the new stuff. Number 3 is brand new. It's never been a rule at Contenders, it is a rule now. We've been having a lot of growth. Obviously, this whole side is expanded. West side's, I don't know, I'm averaging something crazy, like 60 kids in class. With that, what's happening, and it's happening at tournaments like the state tournament. We're going to the state tournament. Child A is registered with Contenders. Child B comes to Contenders. In the past, no Contenders coaches would be in that. If your kid came here, we didn't coach against you. I just felt like that was wrong, okay? The problem with all the growth is this. Matt Kelly's a wrestling coach. If his son is being coached by Matt Kelly and his son is registered under Ron Colley, okay? Matt's in the corner. Matt's a qualified coach. And then I've got Child B over here who registered for Contenders, did everything that we're asking, and he's wrestling Matt's son, but has no coach because I won't jump in that corner. That is no longer the case. If you do not register with Contenders and you wrestle another Contenders wrestler, I will allow our coaches to be in the corner. Okay? It's simple. It's not fair that kids who register under Contenders have zero coach or have dad who has no knowledge in the corner when a Brownsburg kid has, they got 39 coaches running around and they're in the corner, and then we got to wrestle against state level coaches that win the state championship, and your 7th cousin is your coach because he happens to be standing there. Okay? It's not personal. I will never coach against your kid in a personal manner, but we have to make sure the kids who are registered under Contenders, that's our job to cover them. Okay? If you don't register under Contenders, I've always said this, it's not an issue for me. I will coach your kid, okay? As long as it's in that situation where they're not wrestling with other Contenders. I will not coach over another coach. So, you need to either do one of two things. Most coaches we get along with, okay? Most coaches are used to academy coaches hanging out or being near the mat or whatever. Some are very particular about that not happening. Okay? If you are, let's say, registered under Ron Colley, just to continue this example, and Matt and I didn't get along and they had a real problem with it, I'm not going to walk up and coach over your coach. Like, that just looks bad on me, that looks bad on, I'm just not going to do it. Okay? So if Ron Colley's cool with me being in the corner with him, I'll be in the corner, I'll help out. But I am not going to jump over your club coach to, seek glory or something. I'm just going to be there for your child, okay? And that goes for all of our coaches, okay? If you want our help, you need to either register with us, clear it with your club coach, and be like, hey, we want Ryan in the corner, we want Coach Sean in the corner if you were there, okay? Or, I don't know, don't register for anybody and we'll come help you. But we can't be starting fights all across the state trying to yell over somebody's shoulder, okay? So that is new this year. I anticipate I will stay out of most of that. Even if it's this situation, I will probably send an assistant coach to handle it, but I'm not gonna say I wouldn't do it in that situation, okay? This is new, it's hard for me. I don't ever want to train one of your children and then have to stand in the corner opposite of you. So I hope this situation never comes up. But I also can't defend not helping the kid who is registered with us, okay? So that is that. How do we coach at meets? Most of you know this. Last year, I think at state, we had 130 kids registered with us. We had another 90 on top of that weren't. We put coaches in areas, okay? So as most of you have been to Warren Central, the rest of tournaments, I don't really care about. I'm just gonna be real on national stuff and state stuff, I'm gonna worry about. Local stuff, I'm just gonna coach as many matches as I can. At the state tournaments, you will have coaches in different sections, okay? I can't run all up and down. Sean cannot run all up and down Warren Central. So I think last year we had Sean and somebody in the field house. We had myself in the back gym and something else, and the girls over there. Here's the thing. You may not know, there's a list of coaches and you can see them. If you never ventured to the west side or vice versa, they never venture over here. You may not have met Coach Trent. You may not know Coach Seth. Brock is out there running practice right now, but you may not know those guys. It doesn't change how we coach. And I know that sounds crazy, but the whole program is designed with the same verbiage. It's designed with the same moveset. It's designed with all the same stuff. So even though I may not have coached somebody's kid before, I am going to coach them in a similar manner and using the same terms that Coach Sean would use. Okay? That's why we design it uniform across the thing. When you get to the state tournament, we will have specific jackets on for our coaches. Okay? Last year it was actually this one. All right? This year it'll be something new. I will tell you which coach is in which area. You're looking in them. And typically, if it's like really young kids, we send wherever the most kids are, Sean and I tend to be. Okay? Is what typically happens. Okay? You need to walk up, find that coach. Like, I need you to help us out a little bit. Okay? We're going to follow track. We're going to look up. We're going to look for contender singlets. We're going to coach. Guys, I'm going to be honest. With 200 some odd kids there last year, I don't know that I got to look at track. I was just like standing up, looking up, going to the next match. You guys have ever seen us at state, we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off. Okay? I will put a coach in each area, or multiple coaches in each area. The field house, we normally have 2 to 3 coaches. Help us. Okay? Walk up, give that, introduce yourself before we start. Hey, coach, I know I'm a Southside kid, my name's Peyton Hornsby. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. Peyton then needs to go, when he's up, he's match 3, walk up 2 matches before, 3 matches before, say, hey, I'm in the hole, or Dad, walk over. Peyton's in the hole on match 7 in a couple matches here. Give us a heads up, okay? We cannot follow on track every match. I cannot follow every kid who's not registered with us. I cannot follow the girls' tournament starts and stops, and it was all over the place this year, okay? If we don't have a coach in that designated area, because there are 39 gyms. Again, if you walk up and say, Coach Ryan, I'm up in 3 over there, I'm going to do my best to either personally be there or send somebody else to be there. Okay? So, it's not that we don't want to coach anybody. I can't stress that enough. We want to coach every match one of our kids is on. But I can't be a magician all the time. Like, you're gonna have to help our coaches and make sure they're there, okay? Nobody here is trying to miss matches or skip matches or do anything. So just make sure, hey, we're up in 3 over there. Here's the reality. We're not gonna coach every match. We're going to try our best. I was telling the story earlier. I believe it was Whiteland last year. It could have been a different tournament. But I'm at a local tournament. My son is up on mat 1, and there's a 4-mat quad somewhere. And I'm standing in the middle of the quad, coaching this match, this match, this match, this match, and my own son's wrestling down there, and I'm not even near him. Okay? We are going to coach as many matches as we can. But the reality is, if we are the best program in the state, the best program in the state brings a hallway like this for a parent meeting. We can't coach every single match. I will also tell you this. We have qualified dads that are around the area, okay? Garland's a wrestling coach. Matt's a wrestling coach. Lincoln's dad is a coach wrestling. There are plenty of people that will help you out if you just kind of ask or walk up and say, hey, I know you're with Contenders. I saw you coaching. Will you make sure my son's okay? There's normally somebody on the mat that's also a Contender on the same mat with you. All right? Talk to people. All right? Help us out. Help us help you. All right? I've always put number 2. I have never had it become an issue. But in the event that 2 kids are walking on the mat at the same time, like the only time I have ever envisioned this is if somebody's walking on the state championship match to wrestle the state finals, and you're wrestling for 3rd and 4th, and they're coming up at the same time, I'm always going to send a coach, should there be no other way to do it, with the winners bracket. And in 17 years, it's never come up. It will this year just because I said that, but that's how we do it. Weight cutting, satellite weigh-ins. We will do satellite weigh-ins. We will help you as much as we can, okay? But we're gonna give you specific times. We are doing a satellite weigh-in on Thursday for the Whiteland Open. We can't weigh you in with random times across the board.
Please do not email me asking you to just send your child's weight in.
Thank you.
I need to see them on a scale.
I never, like, most of the time satellite weigh-ins are a joke anyway, but first off, I never wanted to say, oh, those Contenders kids, they're always 5 pounds heavier than what they actually. Like, you're hearing it from me. I will see you step on a scale if you want me to send it in. And I won't cheat it. Like, if you're 0.1 over, you're 0.1 over. All right? That's just the reality. Because I never want to be accused. I get accused of enough stuff. I don't want to be accused of that, too. All right? So, we will see you weigh in. We will not take, here's a picture of my kid on the scale in the bathroom home scale. I don't know when you took that. I don't know. Like, I'm just not doing it. If you need us to send your weight, we will gladly send your weight, but we're going to have specific days that we are going to weigh and send in weights. Okay? Weight cutting. I'm going to go through this quickly. I am not a proponent of kids at a young age cutting any kind of weight. I gave this example at the last meeting. I'm going to give it to you. I have a 40-pound kid, and I get this all the time. Parents say, well, he's only 2 pounds over. We can get to 40. Okay? So I say to this is how I verbalize it to parents. Okay, that is 5% of that child's body weight. 5% of their total body weight. Okay? If I asked you to calculate what 5% of your 200-pound body weight is and lose it in the next week, would you want to lose whatever that is? I'm not bad at math. Okay? So start thinking about that when in comparison. Okay? Some of you think, well, it's only 2 pounds, it's only 3 pounds. It's 10% of their body. Like, it's a lot. When you factor in as a grown adult, would you cut 10% of your body? Like, would you want to go, Monday I'm 200 pounds and I want to lose 20 pounds by Friday? I don't think you probably would. Okay, so start thinking about that in terms. There's a vast difference between cutting weight and we're going to cut out the after-school snack, the 6 glasses of milk, and we're going to, we're 40.5, and we want to wrestle state at 40, okay? And we're just going to not maybe have a snack every time, okay? Eating healthy and monitoring your weight is one thing. Trying to have your kid in a bunch of sweats running off 3 pounds, it's just not, it's the number one thing it will do, guys, is make your kid despise wrestling, okay? Come on out, guys. If you want to stand by your parents, you just got to stay quiet, okay?
Or they can film.
All right, so don't ever wear plastics in my room. If you don't know what I'm talking about, good for you. If you have wrestled in your life and you know what I'm talking about, don't bring plastics into my room, ever, for any reason, okay? I don't, like I said, if your kid is 14 years old and needs to lose a pound to wrestle at middle school state, like there's a vast difference between that. And I'm gonna cut 5 pounds off of my 7-year-old to win the what is it, Havoc at the High. Like, get a life. So, just like, I don't know how to say it. Like, just be a normal human being, not a crazy person. If you need help, if you're like, hey coach, we're a national level kid, we're going to Iowa Nationals, we got a pound and a half in the next 2 weeks to get off, what should we be eating? Like, we can help you. Like, there's a difference between we're monitoring your weight down to a weight class and we're cutting weight. Okay? What's up, stud? How are you? You haven't seen me in a while, huh? All right. That's my speech on that. 500-point club and the newly formed 1,000-point club. So listen up. We have, most of you that have been around know, we do a 500-point club. We do a year-end party. 500-point club is a pretty cool thing. Like, not everybody has a t-shirt, not everybody gets it, right? If you want to be in the 500-point club, you'll see on the next page behind that, there's ways to score points. Okay? Here's the key, the big bold part at the bottom. It is, I am not, and Holly is not, and Lauren is not tracking your points. I told this today. Revan Dickman 1 year did not get 500-point club, and people are like, what do you mean? Revan Dickman probably scores 5,000 points a year if he did it all. Okay? But his mom did not turn anything in for him, so he did not get a 500-point club shirt. It caused a big argument between the parties. I know he was a 500-point clubber. I know he would have had enough points, but I'm not going to just track, I'm not going to make up your points. Okay? Your job is to track your points. Here's the list. Here's how it goes. And here's how you turn it in. I will track your practices because you scan it. We check you. So the first two, attending technique and attending Monday Night Live, we will track those for you. Is everybody clear? Everything else is your responsibility. Create an Excel sheet, do it. Here's what happens. Parents are like, I don't really care about that t-shirt. You don't. You know who does? The kid at the awards banquet that didn't just get one. And everybody else did it, okay? So, you know, we do a lot of things for our kids in wrestling. This is like a 10-minute job, okay? With that being said, where it says number 3, local tournaments, it says 10 points for participation, 15 points for placement. Let's say you get second place. It is not 25 points, okay? It is the 15. Everybody clear? You get one of those things. So if you win, you get 25 points. But you don't get participation points on top of that. All right? Any questions? We are also this year, because we have so many kids that are, 500 was always like a really high tier for a lot of our kids. Now we have so many kids that are nationally competitive, things like that. 500 doesn't seem that difficult for some of them. So the difficult would be getting 1,000 points between now and May when we do this awards banquet. So it starts tomorrow or first day of November, okay? So we will have probably, I would say 5 or 6 kids get 1,000 points. So good luck on that. Maybe push your kids towards that. Talk to them about it. If they're having problems attending practice, maybe mention that to them, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of people get there, but I'm going to buy a t-shirt if you do. Okay?
Question.
Yes.
Question.
Okay.
So, like, my kid may not ever wrestle, like, at a tournament for contenders.
Okay.
Because he registered under Ron Colley.
Correct.
So, like, if he goes to a local tournament, registers under, do those points still count?
Yes. Any tournament you guys, I'm gonna be honest, I'll give you points for just about anything. Like, your kid wins the citizenship award at school, good. Let me talk that up and give him some points for it. I don't know. I'm not gonna give them points for cleaning the room, but if they're really a bad kid and they do it, talk to me about it. We'll figure something out. All right? Okay? I don't care if you wrestle, okay? I don't care who you wrestle for. All right? The only thing I don't really have is a duel. A lot of you do duels. Okay?
I've been giving them for just like local duels, like just a local participation tournament.
Okay, there you go. So if you wrestle at a local duel tournament for Franklin Central, and you go to the local duel and you're doing that, and
I'm just giving the participation. I don't
you
care
get
if the
that
team
10
won or
points.
not.
All right. So that is 500 point club, 1,000 point club. Everybody got that so far? Okay, let's move down. Couple things. Do not ever step foot on my mat. I'm trying not to, there's little kids out here. I'm trying not to sound like a jerk. Don't ever step on my mat. I mean that nothing, it makes me want to punch people. Just gonna be honest. Don't walk out on my mat. If you need something, Sean put a whole little window over there if it's an emergency. That thing is stupid, but it's there. All right? If you need something, talk to us as we walk out. Have Holly come grab us, but don't ever just march your butt like you're entitled out on my mat. That is my space. I don't walk into your home unannounced. Don't walk into mine. Okay? It's not as big a problem here because you guys are kind of walled off. West side people all of a sudden they just walk out in the middle of my mat and they're just, hey, you want to talk? Eats at me. Don't walk on the mat. Definitely without street shoes. With street shoes on, it'll double it up for you. Stay in your area, okay? Holly, you can come over here and buy candy from Holly. You can come over here and get something from Holly, whatever you need. But you're not hanging out with Holly. Okay? Holly, no offense, Holly don't want to hang out with you. I'm just going to tell you. So, Holly's doing check-ins. She's got to deal with all the idiots in the locker room. She doesn't have time for you guys to chat it up. That's her area. Stay out of her area. Okay? You guys are over here. Watch. Hang out in this hallway. The best thing you will ever do for your kids, hang out in this hallway. I'm serious. Go grab a beer at that Mexican place. They got big ones. All right? You don't have to stand there and hawk eye your kid the whole time they're at practice. Okay? But if you want to watch practice, that's where it's at. All right.
Oh, Ryan, speaking of that, it's a problem here only because of this. Do not take any of the cheerleaders' chairs that are out here. If we are out of room in there, you're going to have to bring your own. Please do not take any of the chairs that are in the hallway that belong to the cheerleading academy from them to put in here. They're not happy about it. We're not happy they're blocking our door.
It's like a battle going on over here. I'm going to have to come over and solve it, I guess. I don't know. Don't steal their chairs. That's that. Next couple pages. I still got quite a bit, so bear with me. This is the Meet the Team section. It's changed a little bit. That front page right there, you'll see me and Coach Sean when he thought that beard was cool. The bottom guy, he's out there running practice. I'm going to talk to you about him a little bit. He started with me when he was 8 years old. He is a two-time state champion in Indiana. He then went on and had 4 years as a starter in Division I college wrestling. He's legit. Okay? He wrestled in the Big Ten. That is like playing football in the SEC. Okay? He is here. I brought him on. So I now have a coach from Purdue and IU. I like to be fair. Okay? I brought him on and Sean on, and if you ever you guys don't get to be in a coach's meeting, but it's like watching two people speaking a different language, but they both understand it, you know what I mean? He's phenomenal. I highly, highly recommend getting a private lesson with him. He's young. He'll wrestle with your kid, especially you got a bigger, he'll get out there. I ain't wrestling with your kid. He'll get out there and wrestle, all right? He knows his stuff. He is a high-level guy. He will mainly be running the pre-national and national team practices at Westside. So all you Southsiders, sorry about that. However, over the next 2 weeks, he is taking Sean's job here, and he will be in and out over here running private lessons and filling in when we need him on this side. His name is Brock. He is, I don't know, fresh out of college, young guy, but I promise you, he will do great things for your child. On the next page, you guys all know Coach Randy over here. Seth is kind of my Coach Randy on the other side of town. He helps me with my beginner kids and so forth. He's a great dude. If you ever see Coach Seth, he has longer hair than that nowadays. Coach Trent was at Ben Davis. We kind of had really high numbers and we needed some help. Coach Trent stepped up. He's getting ready to have a baby, so my guess is he's probably not going to be around a ton. But if he is at state or something helping us out, that is who Coach Trent is. Okay, everybody knows Holly and Lauren. All right, next part, this contact sheet. I don't know, 400 different ways you can send me a letter in the mail, or you can email me, or you can call me, or Facebook, Instagram, we have a YouTube, they're all the same. Okay, I told everybody this. Coach Sean is much nicer to you guys than I am. I'm gonna be honest. He fields calls and he takes text messages all the time, and he's just a saint. Okay, I am not a saint. I have 4 children. They're all very young. If you need to get a hold of me, shoot me a text message. If you really need to get a hold of me, shoot me another text message. If it's really bad, call Holly. She may have the answer for you. Okay? All jokes aside, I don't mind talking to you on the phone, but please make sure it's necessary that we actually speak on the phone. I just hate talking on the phone. I don't have time for it. If it's a simple question, you're probably going to get an answer from Holly quicker. But if there is a real legit problem, Coach Ryan, we need to have a conversation about this. Give me a call. We'll have a conversation about it. Send me an email. We'll have a conversation about it. All right? But try to start with text messages. Coach Sean, however he wants to handle this stuff, that's how he handles it. There is an email system. We have an email system. How many of you receive emails from us? How many of you have never received an email from us? Okay. Does she get the emails?
Yes.
Oh. All right. We have an email system. I do not add you to our email system. Okay? Holly does not sit. Guys, we have 300 plus athletes in our academy. I don't know that you guys that only hang out on this side may not know that. We have 300 plus athletes. Okay? I don't have time to enter 300 plus emails for mom, dad, grandpa, grandma. There is a way to join our email list through our website. If you have never done so, go on YouTube. There is a video where I literally just did it and let you guys screen share and watch how I did it. Okay? Try that first. Okay? You gotta form an account. You're gonna need that account with us anyway. And then sign up for our emails. And then, if you're still not seeing emails, then let's talk to Holly and figure out why you're not getting it. We send pretty much at least an email a week. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but you should be getting emails from us. Okay? So make sure you join that email list. Another thing is Facebook. 9 times out of 10, if it's not my email, it's also posted on Facebook. I'm not cool enough to be young enough to use the gram. The kids like it. I post mainly pictures on that. I have never tweeted very much. So mainly Facebook is a really good thing to add. Because whenever we send an email, it pops up there. You may see it there first. Okay? So add to Facebook, like it, whatever.
Just because you put your email on this athlete sheet, that's not that email goes into our mind body system for contracts. If you want to be up on the email system, I can't do it for you because you have to sign up for a Sports Engine account. So don't think just because you put your email on this thing, you're on the list. You have to physically go to the website and do it yourself.
We are not going to take the email you go to. We're going to put that in our payment system, but we're not going to put it in our website. Okay? All right. On to this price sheet. This price sheet looks a little different this year. I'm just going to get straight to the point. I don't like raising prices. I've raised them twice in 17 years. But the reality is everything costs more. Okay? We obviously have a bigger space out there. We've hired more coaches. Things just cost more. I went up $25 across the board. Every contract went up $25. No matter where you're at on this sheet, if you look at the old sheet, it's up $25. Except for Pee-wees, I only went up like $15. Okay? You will also notice there's not a 2-location price on there anymore. Okay? We have 2 locations. You are welcome to venture wherever you would like between those 2 locations on any night you would like. Okay? You don't have to pay. I raised the price, but I am taking that away, that extra add-on. So if you want to come to Westside, great. You want to practice over here, great. You want to alternate back and forth, great. Okay? So there is only one price. These are the contracts. Does everybody see them? No question. Okay? So everything went up $25. Coach, I was under a contract this month. It was, $100. Now you're going up to $125. I don't want to do that anymore, but I have 3 months left on my contract. I will let you out of that contract. So we can part ways. I don't want anybody to have any hard feelings, but the reality is these are your new prices. Okay? If you were on a previous contract, I will stop it. We can separate, or I will stop it and you can sign up for these prices. Okay? So I'm not going to hold anybody to a contract when I change prices. But these are the new prices. So if you want to be here, these are them.
And they have
okay?
to fill a new one out no matter what.
Yes. This sheet that has 3 pages in it. Information sheet, waiver on the back, and the contract. Okay, I'm gonna point out a few things on this real quick. I need everybody in this building, I don't care if you've been here 5 years, 10 years, if you and I are cousins, you have to fill out these 3 pieces of paper before you come to your next practice. All right, clear? You're gonna hand this to Holly, you're gonna hand this to Lauren, hand it to me, hand it to someone, Coach Sean, preferably Holly, she's gonna take care of it. These 3 pages need filled out, okay? So, I know a lot of you have filled this front sheet out, a lot of you have signed a waiver at some point, you probably have a contract. Obviously, prices change, I need you on a different contract in case there's any issue, okay? While we got that contract sheet out, look at this last page on it. If you look down at the bottom, there's 2 things highlighted in black that I want to talk about. Coach Sean is not in charge of anything to do with your contract. Holly is not in charge of anything that happens with your contract. That falls squarely on me, okay? So I want to be clear. I want to have clear communication right now so there is no 5 months from now you came back and say, I was unfair to you or something like that. If you sign up for a 3-month contract, your contract will pull automatically for the following 3 consecutive months. There is no pausing a contract. There is no stopping a contract. There is no, hey, my kid just really doesn't want to wrestle anymore and I'm on a year-long contract. I'm sorry that happened. You might want to try to talk them back into coming to wrestling, okay? If you choose to sign a contract, these are not cancelable at any time. These are not, I am not, I don't know, your internet provider, okay? I am running a business where I have to be able to, a small business, even though it doesn't seem that small right now, I have to be able to calculate how much I need for this nice new space we got over here and that big one over on Brownsburg. I just want to be clear with you. I will not stop your contract. You can give me the biggest sob story in the world, and I'm still going to say, I'm really sorry about that, and I'm not going to stop your contract. Okay? I think it's better if I'm just upfront about that, rather than trying to deceive you or make it seem something different. Okay? So, if you're like, this is what I keep having happen, so I'm just going to use an example. People want the 12-month price, right? That's a better price. So they'll sign a 12-month contract, but then they get to football season and they're like, Ryan, my practices for football are Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. We can't even use it. I'm sorry, you signed a 12-month contract. The fact that your football coach did that to you is not on me, okay? So, one of 2 things. I don't care how long you sign up for. I hope you all sign a 12-month contract with us, okay? But if you do it, you need to factor in if your kid plays baseball or football or something like that, and maybe you only want a 6-month contract. That way you can reevaluate. Okay? That's on you, and it's really unfair when people go to Holly, or they go to Sean, or they call me, and it puts me in a bad spot, right? I don't want to be a jerk and say no, so in a lot of times I'm like, well, I don't want to lose this person. Understand, I've got to be willing to lose people that are unhappy about it. And I say that as nicely as I can, and I hope that didn't come off wrong. If you sign this contract, just understand that's what you're paying for. And whether you use it or don't use it, I really can't control that, okay? With that being said as well, I also need you to hear me clearly on this. Your contract is automatically going to renew every time it is up, okay? The reason we do that is 90% of our people here probably have been coming here for years, 12 months a year, all the time, okay? And they don't want to fill out a new contract all the time. So it just auto kicks in, they go on to their next year, okay? You will get, how many emails did they get? 3?
As long as you have the correct email on file, you'll get notification all the way up.
You will get 3 to 4 notifications before it auto renews. It will tell you, it won't say your contract's getting ready to whatever. It will say your contract is expiring and will auto renew, blah, 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 blah. If you don't read the email, I also can't help you with that, okay? It will auto, you sign up for 6 months, it will auto renew for another 6 months after that 6 months. If you want it to stop, totally fine. When it's coming up due, or the month before it comes up due, say, hey, I need that to stop, we want to play football, we'll be back up football. Okay? I think communication's key. Like, if we're clear and we're all on the same page, you can't get mad at me and I can't get mad at you about what's happening. Okay? So your contract will auto renew from now until the day you die and that credit card gets canceled if you do not stop. Okay? Is Is everybody clear? Any questions on how that contract works? So it is consecutive months. It will not be stopped. I have one exception to that, and this is the only exception. I will pause it if your kid injures themselves and has to be out for more than 5 weeks. You have to bring me a note from a doctor that says, hey, Trayvon broke his ankle and is out for 6 weeks. I mean, not going with
Don't speak that over somebody.
Okay, so that happens, right? And you have to bring me a note, and it says that. I will pause it for then, and I will tack that month on to the end of the contract. Is everybody clear? So, it doesn't mean you get out of that month. I'm gonna tack it on the back end. Okay? So we've had a lot of issues with this. People get angry at me, and I just, like, it's right there in bold. You signed it, and I just wanna make sure you heard it as well from me. Yes?
Okay, so you said the contracts are due when we come back for our next practice.
Yes.
Says if we do a year contract, then our year contract starts now. So we're in the midst of a year contract, so
It will reset now.
everything will reset.
Everything is resetting now, that's the only way I can do it. So I will let you out of the previous year contract.
Gotcha.
And then whatever you turn this sheet back into me as the first practice you come to, that is where you are at. Okay? So everybody's contract, essentially assuming you practice this month, will start in November. So you are basing your months off of November. Okay? And again, if it's, price increase doesn't work, or, any of that stuff, I will let you out of the previous contract. Yes.
They're still the same days that it's going to.
It is gonna pull the 1st or the 15th, whatever you put on that new one. I will tell you this, November probably won't pull on the 1st, because I don't have any way to get these all in it by then. It will pull as soon as if you put the 1st, November will pull essentially as quickly as Holly can get it in. It may be the 5th or the 7th or something. It'll be early in the month, okay? If you put the 15th, hopefully we have that entered and it pulls the 15th, okay? Another thing about that, because this gets a little confusing too. Your contract is not the 15th to the 15th if you put the 15th. It's always been this way, but we've had some confusion. If you want to pay the 15th of November, that's great. You are good from November 1st to November 30th. I just allow you to pick the day because if you're like me, like I have all my other bills come out the 1st and then I need some leeway to get to the 15th, right? So your contract is for the month you are participating in, from the 1st of that month to the 30th of that month. We just allow you, if you want a little, if you want to come out on the 15th versus the 1st for that to be. So don't assume I put November 15th, so my contract ends a year from now on November. I get the 1st to the 15th of November next year too. That is not the case. Does everybody understand that as well? It's never been the case, but I just want to make sure everybody knew that. All right.
Separate sheets filled out for separate residents,
No,
or just put them all
you
up?
can, if you have multiple kids, you can put both kids' names on this information sheet, sign both for both kids. Obviously, your contract will be 2 years.
Brian, the 3% for the,
Yes, last thing about contracts and money. So we use a contract, I try to make you guys paying me easy and you don't have to remember write me a check on it. If you fill this out and it's a bank account number, you actually put your bank routing number and your bank account. I don't get charged for that to be pulled. Okay? I pay a fee, but it's not, I don't get hit each time it's pulled. If you put a credit card or debit card on there, I get hit with a 3% fee every time. That 3% fee will now be tacked on to you. And the system will do it automatically. I don't care which you pay for it, but if you sign up and it's $115 a month and you receive 3% over that, it's because you're using a card instead of your bank account. Some people are like, Coach, I don't want my bank account on file with you. No offense, I like you, but I don't put my bank account on anything. I'll pay cash for everything. Totally cool with me. But you have to pay for the entire contract up front. So if you're doing 3 months, I need the 3-month amount up front. Okay? Otherwise, you can go month to month and pay cash every month. Okay? But if you I want to do a 3-month contract, but I want to make cash, that's totally fine, but you have to add up 3 times whatever that number is and bring me the full contract up. Okay? Like I said, I want clear communication. Anybody confused on contracts, payments? Okay. So let's scroll on to this lovely calendar. With going up in price, I always like to be fair to you. There are 6 nights a week for each group outside of Pee Wee. So unless you have a Pee Wee, which no Pee Wee needs to practice 6 nights a week, so I'm just gonna tell you that. You will see each group has 3 nights, except for, when you're looking at this, you'll say beginners only has 4 nights. Coach, I only added beginners 4 times. Okay? Reason being, some of you will have kids that are in our beginners group and you have already done live nights. You understand what a live night is. You've been to a live night before, you want to continue coming to live nights. This and only this situation. If you are a beginner who wants to do live, you need to clear it through Coach Sean if you're on this side or myself on the other side. And we will allow you to add in live nights in the pre-national group. Okay? Everybody understand? It's not listed that way because I don't need the world to know that. I'm telling you that if Roman Pedigo has done a live night before, he's probably still in my beginner's class. If he wants to do live night, I'm going to allow him to do live night. Okay? With that being said, every group then should have 6 nights a week. 3 with me, 3 with Sean. Okay? When I set the prices, I set these prices when I moved to Brownsburg. It was based off 3 nights of practice. I had one building, you were allowed 3 nights of practice, and that was $100 a month. I'm now offering you 6 nights a week, with the understanding of this, and please hear me. We will not always be able to have 6 nights of practice a week. There are things, like, guys, things come up. A, coaching at tournaments comes up sometimes. B, emergencies. I can't always get a coach here. It happened to me Thursday night. All of a sudden, my ex-wife scheduled a parent-teacher conference, and I've got to go, right? And so I have to miss Thursday's practice. Brock wasn't planning on it. I'm out of coaches. We have to cancel practice. I'm offering you 6 nights a week at $115. If you find that price anywhere else, you let me know, and I'll match it. If they will offer you 6 practices a week per month at any other academy in the state, I'll match it, because you're not going to find it, okay? Red Cobra, I believe, is $140 a month. CIA, around what we are, okay? You're not, I'm giving you 6 nights to do this. We have now set it up with Coach Sean, myself, and Brock. If you are, I've only ever come to Southside, but Wednesday night I have my school play, and I really want to get a practice in Thursday night because I'm missing Wednesday. Come over to the west side. It is not Egypt. It's about 20 minutes that way. Okay? Come over there and do the Thursday practice. Because we are using the same verbiage across the board. All the practice schedules are going to be the same. Guys, they will run differently. I run my practice differently. Sean, Coach Pooh Bear is a lot nicer than I am. Okay? They're different, ran differently, but they are the same technique packages. They are the same verbiage. They are the same move set for that month. Is everybody clear? So don't think, well, I've never been over there. I don't know what else. Don't be afraid of it. Come over and get a practice in. It's going to be similar to what you got here. Okay? So, I don't necessarily advise your kid practicing 6 nights a week. That's overkill. Alright? I do think some of your older kids could go 4 to 5 nights a week. They do that in middle school anyway. They do that in high school. They will do. Okay? So, I'm not advising it to go 6 nights a week. I'm just saying you have 6 different, every group has a different night you can go. Okay? So, keep that in mind. If I have to cancel a practice, I apologize. I never want to cancel practice. Coach Sean doesn't want to cancel practice. Coach Sean, has an eye surgery. We don't want to cancel practice. But I look at it as I'm trying to offer, your payment is based off 12 practices a month, and I'm offering you double that. Okay? You just have to make it up. Okay? So there are going to be times that happens, and I really don't want to have a disagreement about it. Make it up somewhere else. I'm giving you that option. Okay? The next page is just broken down by group. Practice, same thing, similar.
Ryan, do you want to say that those start Tuesday, but we'll send out the list?
Yes, so you're going to get a list with your group. Coach, I don't know if I'm in pre-national or beginners or what. If you came to our meeting this summer, what is the design of these practices? I'm gonna do this very quickly because I did it very lonely this summer. We decided that with the growth of this academy, we were spanning so many ranges of wrestlers, okay? We had kids who have never put wrestling shoes on a day in their life, all the way up to kids who've wrestled here since their birth, okay, and they're now 14 years old. What we decided to do was come up with, instead of age-based practices, basing it off of skill level where your kid's at and who he should be practicing with. Okay? Because here's what happens in our elementary class, and you guys have probably seen this. As we've developed numbers, you have this group down here that's never really wrestled. They're on their second or third night. And one of our coaches is basically spending all their time with this end of the room. And then you have in the middle the kids that have kind of been here a little bit, but still not super great at wrestling. You better sit down, bro.
I'm okay with your mother.
I'm just kidding. And then you have the kids who have had years of experience at contenders, but they're only 5th grade, right? I've known Dean for a long time. He's been with me a long time. Trayvon's been for a long time, right? So I have a couple options as a coach. I can coach to this level that's all beginners kids, and I am boring Dean and Trayvon and those guys to death out there. Because they're like, Coach, I've worked this stuff for 10 years. Or I can coach down here and I can talk to Dean and Trayvon, and this kid down here has, I'm speaking Japanese to this guy. He has no idea what I'm talking about. And I'm going way too fast for him, right? So it creates this thing where we're either helping our really good kids and talking over our kids that are new, or we're spending all of our time trying to show our new guys basic stuff and boring our good kids or more experienced kids to death. Okay? And it's just not placing the kids properly. Okay? So we will have a Pee-wee group. That is our 4 and 5, maybe 6-year-olds. They're the babies, right? They're learning all things new. They're crazy. They run around and it's great. Okay? Beginners. Beginners will mainly be elementary kids. I will still, even if your kid's really new to wrestling in middle school, they're probably going to go up just because of size issues. Our beginners class will be kids who, a couple years of experience maybe, but aren't focused all the time at practice, aren't working necessarily that hard, aren't devoting their life to being a year-round wrestler. That's okay, right? But they need one-on-one, simpler instruction to get something out of it. Then you're going to have our pre-national group, okay? This is where some better elementary kids are going to fall and some more beginner, inexperienced middle school, okay, are going to end up. And the purpose of the pre-national class is kids that have some wrestling ability, right? But they're not necessarily ready to go as fast as Trayvon is at practice. Does everybody kind of understand that? And then you get to your national team groups. Kids that have been in this program know what the expectation is. They're going to wrestle hard. There's not going to be a bunch of BS, and I'm not going to have to stop practice for laziness and talking and things like that. And it is going to be an hour and a half of me and Coach pushing them to be better. Coach and I sat down and we put these kids in groups. Okay? We may get it wrong, but this is where we think is best to fit your child. It is not, I like Trayvon a whole lot. I don't really, but let's pretend I did. Okay? And I'm like, well, Trayvon's definitely national team because he's cool and I like him. That is not what it is. I promise you it's not. It is, I need to coach Trayvon at this pace. I need to coach this kid at this pace to really get the best out of this kid. Okay? You are going to get an email after you sign up for that email, and it's going to tell you where you are at, what class you're to come to. Okay? You can not wrestle up. Did everybody hear what I just said? If you are a beginner, you don't get to come to pre-national class. The only exception being that live we talked about. If you are pre-national, you do not get to stick around for national team class, or it defeats the purpose of me splitting these groups up. Okay? There will be siblings in different classes. There will be things, and it's about doing what's best for your child. So please understand that. This is giving me anxiety because I think I'm going to upset some people. I don't want to. But we're gonna place your children where we think they can excel. It's fluid. Okay? I start your kid in pre-national class, and you're like, I really think he should have been national. I don't like what coach just did there. Okay? We can have a conversation if we really need to. Or maybe you say to your kid, there's some reason you're not getting into national team. You need to go talk to Coach Ryan and Coach Sean and say, Coach, what do I need to do to get there? And be responsible parents in that way of, let's put it back on the kids a little bit. There's a reason they're in that class. And I can give you a reason for every kid that I had put in any class I put them in. Okay? And Coach Sean should be able to do the same. Everybody just wants to be in the best class. Sometimes the best class is not the best place for your child. You think, oh, well, I want to wrestle with Trayvon. Everybody does. He's good. You think I don't have people want to wrestle with Case Bell? They do. Okay? But sometimes just getting drummed by Trayvon and Case Bell is not going to work out for you. Sometimes going really fast and not actually learning anything and just trying to keep your head above water while you're at practice, even if you are a really good wrestler and things are moving so fast, it doesn't help you. Okay? I am not above putting a kid down. Some of you think I went up, oh man, we made national team, we've made it. You better keep up. Does everybody understand that? I will come to you and I will say, look, here's the reason. They're not paying attention. You're only showing up once a week. We're spending all our time re-showing him the moves because you haven't been at practice this week. And we don't have time, and he needs to go back to pre-national because we have time in that class to catch him up. Notice how many times I've said attendance is important. Right? You want to be at that level, be here. I can't put you at that level once a week. Period. So, you are going to get that list. You don't have to like that list. And we can talk about that list if you want to. Or you can say to your child, and this is, we all talk about the old days. Our parents would have done that. Right? Your parents wouldn't have said, oh, you didn't make the cut, go whine to the coach about it. I don't think my dad would have. He'd have been like, bro, you're in pre-national class, you want to be national, you better figure out why. Maybe that's what we need to get back to, instead of just automatically blaming Sean and I for not putting your kid in the right group. What gets you into that national team group? Attendance. Not goofing off. Not talking during practice. Being able to, we're not going to circle up our national team a whole lot and show them moves. We're going to show them concepts and say, go drill that and get better at it. Okay? We have 2 Division I college wrestlers coaching those classes. It is meant for kids at that level. And let's try to build everybody to that level. Right? Let's try to work everybody up there instead of just assuming we should be there. Going to national tournaments does not mean you're on the national team. Some parents can't afford to take their kid to a national tournament and they're the best wrestlers in the room. Other people can afford to go to any tournament they want and now we think we're in the national team. That's not how that works. Does everybody understand? Just because I wanted to name it something cool like level 3 and 4, that would make a whole lot of sense. Coach Sean and I thought about it. All right? Just because you attend national tournaments doesn't make you a national level kid. Just because you wrestle in every national duel does not make you a national. I mean, come on, guys. All right? So if you really think, oh, Coach, I think you misplaced this, come to me. I'll talk to you. I'll tell you, there's 3 reasons I put your kid here. And if they show me improvement in these 3 areas, we can talk about moving them up in a couple weeks. Okay? I'm not trying to sound hard on it. I'm not trying to sound tough on it. I'm just trying to give you the reality of it. Okay? That email will come out. If you don't get that email, you're either not signed up for our email or something bad happened. So sign up for our email. If you still don't have your name on the list, we did not miss anyone. I hand to God, I've never missed a kid on purpose. It's probably because you were playing football and we didn't see you for a couple months. Okay? You didn't fill out the other email that we sent out a couple weeks ago. Because we went off of that, and if we haven't seen you in a while, you're playing football, playing bad, that's all fun, that's fine. Or you're new, okay? So send us an email, hey Holly, I just saw your list, I'm not on it, can you let me know what group we're in, okay? And we'll get you that information ASAP.
You should have that. If you do not receive an email by 3 p.m. tomorrow, then contact me. We'll have it out by 3 p.m. tomorrow.
She's putting me under pressure. No, you should have it by, I should be done. A lot of it was just seeing who was at the meeting, who we were missing. Okay, a lot of it's done. Does everybody understand the group? And I really mean this wholeheartedly. I hope it doesn't upset you. I hope you use it as motivation if you think you're ill-placed, right? I had a conversation, I'll just use him right here. He's right here, Colton Wiseman. I had a conversation with him today. I'm like, dude, you're a bubble kid. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to go up and show me, but you're on the bubble. You could easily go back. We had this conversation today. So you better step up, right? Versus, I'll put you there. Now you show me you deserve to be there, not the other way around. I will move you back down, right? And that's how you need to frame it. You're in the beginner's class. Well, my kid's not a beginner. He's wrestled for 5 years. Does he pay attention to practice? Is he actually at practice? Right? No offense, your club practice is not the same. That's why you come here. So we're teaching things that your club practice is not teaching. So if you're not here, they don't know it. It doesn't matter if they're wrestling somewhere else. It's fine to go to your club practice. Don't take that the wrong way. But try to get to both. This is the national team tournament schedule. You're like, Coach, that's a lot. That's 2 trips to Tulsa, 2 trips to Iowa, Central Regionals up in Fort Wayne. I want you. These are where we're sending coaches. Does everybody understand that? These are the extra. If you are a national team level kid and you really think you're on the national team, you should be trying to get to these. I understand gas is $5 a gallon. I understand that hotels are outrageous. I don't expect you to be at every one. What I'm telling you is this is the place to test your level. This is where Coach Sean is going to be trying to gauge where our kids need to get better. I think last count I had, we had like 12 or 15 going to Tulsa kickoff. That's by far the most we've ever had. Okay? Don't do it. Try it. And, you know, I'm never going to tell you if you can't afford it that I'm going to kick you out of the national team because you haven't been to Tulsa. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, so please understand what I am saying. What I'm saying is, this, if you really want to be a high-level kid, this is where you go test your skills. Okay? And we're going to send coaches to these because this is the list that Coach made me. He said, we need our kids at this tournaments. Okay? And so this is what I'm doing. This is where we're going. Okay. With that, there are 3 tournaments on here, and I'm going to talk about this. It's another thing. To send coaches to 8 different states is outrageously expensive. And I want to talk about, again, payment, because I want you to understand my thought on it because of the communication. You pay me to be at practice. You pay me to run practice. You pay Sean to run practice. You do not, nobody has ever gave me a check to be at the state tournament, to show up at the Whiteland Open. Your fees are based off paying for this building, paying for practice, paying for that. We attend tournaments. We want to coach those. I'm not trying to charge you off the rear end. I don't think you should pay me to show up at Whiteland. That's just part of being a coach, right? We want to show up to meetings. But Tulsa Nationals, Tulsa Kickoff, and USA Folk Style Nationals. The first 3 on there. If we are not, some of these we are paid by the ISWA, not paid. The ISWA foots our bill, okay? Like Heartland Duels, the ISWA pays for me to go. At least pays for my hotel, they don't pay me, but. If you're going to Tulsa Nationals, Tulsa Kickoff, I've got to pay for Sean's hotel, his gas, all that stuff out there, okay? We're gonna put a $50 fee on national travel, nothing local, and it's really 3 times. If you're going out to Tulsa Kickoff, Sean's gonna go out, well, we're gonna charge $50 a kid for him to be there to coach. He's there like, if you've ever been to Tulsa, it's like 15-hour days. It's awful, okay? And in it's not about paying Sean, it's just about covering Sean to get there, okay? So tournaments that national kids, so if we have 15 kids and we break it up $50 a time, Sean's out there now, you know? All right, so it's those 3 tournaments. Fargo, we get paid for. Super 32, we'll talk about that one down the road. Central Regionals, we can get to Fort Wayne. I'm not trying to be Chuck. All right, but I promise you that other academy coaches are doing the same thing. So we have to cover our costs, guys. It's gear. This gear sheet. I'm about there, I promise. it's hard to see the colors. I posted it on Instagram a little bit ago, Facebook, it should be on Facebook. The shirts up top are blue and black. We did that little vote thing where people decided, and I'm gonna be honest, 99% of the votes were for the black gear, and then the kids went the other way. They were like, no, we want white. Turn on, okay, they're like, white's better painted. I'm like, I don't know about that, but all right. So I talked to the guy, he's cool with us ordering whatever, okay? But that creates a little bit of a nightmare for Holly and I. You might say, well, why do you have two singlets? You don't need two singlets. In freestyle, you need a red and a blue singlet. So if you look online, the leg bands, and there's a stripe that's red or a stripe that's blue. Does everybody understand? So in freestyle, that would count as your blue singlet, or the red one would be your red singlet. We haven't done freestyle and Greco singlets in a long time. So I wanted to give you a chance to buy, if you want a set of Contenders freestyle singlets. They are still fine for folk style, okay? But we just had a lot of kids wrestling freestyle, and they're like, Coach, we don't have a red Contender singlet. Okay, so there are 4 singlet options. Buy 4, buy 1, buy none. I don't. Doesn't bother me one way or the other. Okay. If you were gonna get 2 singlets, if you'll see on the back, there's some packages. If you're going to get 2 singlets, I would get a red and blue, just so you have freestyle. I wouldn't buy 2 blue ones. Okay. I would get a red and blue. Okay. Flip it over for me. You can buy items by the single item. There are also gear packages where you get a singlet short shirt. That's the first package. The next thing you'll see has 2 singlets, the short shirts, and all of it, the hoodie. Again, buy as much or as little of this stuff as you want, but please, if you do buy it, do me a favor, look at the example. If you are buying a singlet, this really only applies to singlets. You see where it says YMBB? I know we're all smart enough to figure out that means I need a youth medium in blue and black. The key is on the front, white and red, blue and black, blah, 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 blah. Don't just tell me you want a youth medium singlet or you're getting, whatever, Russian roulette on it, okay? Tell us what color you want and what size, okay? There's a key up there at the top. I hope we're all smart enough to figure it out, okay? Some people will be like, Coach, I've got two wrestlers. If I wanted to do the 2 singlet package, can I buy each? I don't care. That's totally fine. Okay, you get 2 singlets, no matter what size they're in. Doesn't matter to me. Okay? So if you want to split one gear package between 2 kids, whatever, that's your decision. All right? That is why there's a red and blue singlet. That's why there are 4 singlets. I think it's overkill, but I don't care. Buy no singlets if you want. Okay? But that is that. You will see on the front, the orders are due the 18th, and payment is due when you order. I will not take these without payment. Okay? I order singlets once a year. This is it. This is the only time. I've done it this way for years. People come in March and be like, I want a singlet. I'll be like, I don't have a singlet. You can order one in November. Okay? It's just a pain. Single orders are a pain in the butt to everybody. So we order them once a year. So if you want a singlet, this is it. If you want a shirt, any of this gear, it's a one-time deal. From now till the 18th, you have to order. You can turn it in any time. The gear, the agreement we have is that it is in before Christmas. Okay? 17 years, only twice have I been let down on that deal. Okay? One was a COVID year, which kind of screwed up everything. Every other year, I have gotten it in before Christmas. Okay? So, most of the time, if you want to make that a Christmas present, I should have it. Now, it may be the 24th, and you may have to come over here and see me. But I should have it before Christmas Day. That's the agreement we have. Okay? So, if that matters to you, that is a thought. I am also going to do some of you don't like this flashy. You're like, I want a hoodie, but I don't want to wear that hoodie. I'm going to make some simpler stuff. We're going to put a store up, just some plain Contenders wrestling kind of hoodie, parent, fan gear kind of stuff. If this isn't what you're rocking as a parent or, grandpa wants something. So that'll be up in a couple days. We're working on details on that. But this gear form, do the 18th. Everybody got that? Okay. I have 2 more programs to talk about. Have I missed anything else? Because I left my sheet at West. Okay. 2 other new programs we're starting. Okay? And then I'm going to let you out of here, I think. First one is a t-shirt program for our peewees and beginners. and some of our pre-national kids. So I'm gonna explain it to you, and the best way I can explain it is similar to karate. We're not a karate place, but this is the best way. All of our beginners and peewees are going to start in a white contenders wrestling shirt. You're going to get a white contenders wrestling shirt, okay? And over the next couple months into January, we're going to be evaluating those kids. And they will eventually be able to move up to a gray contenders wrestling shirt. If they're doing really well, they'll move up to a black contenders wrestling shirt. Similar to a karate belt system. Coach Ryan, you're not a karate studio, what are you thinking? Coach Sean and I talked a lot about how do we get the kids who start out as beginners to stick with wrestling, because this is hard. And maybe they're not having success at tournaments. They're going to tournaments and going 0-2, and they're like, why, Dad, are you making me do this? We want to give kids something to work towards at a beginner level. Okay? Maybe they're not going to place at state. Maybe they're not going to win the Whiteland Open. So we want something for those kids to work towards. Okay? There's gonna be some criteria. I'm not gonna set it in stone. It's gonna be based off, like, can you do certain moves? Are you paying attention in class? Are you doing the right thing? And it's, again, just incentivizing kids. One kid's having a really good practice paying attention, and you're like, man, the last 3 weeks, Dean has done a great job at paying attention in class. And I wanna reward Dean. Dean, all of a sudden, here's your black shirt, and you're gonna get it. Now you're black level, okay? Once you hit pre-nationals, it is green. Everybody pre-national and nationals will be considered a green shirt, a Rudis shirt. It's a pretty nice green shirt, okay? So green shirt's gonna be a pretty cool deal once you get to there, or some of you are gonna start there. And then we are going to have a navy blue shirt. That's our top level shirt. It's going to be reserved, and Coach and I need to finalize the criteria on it. It is not just because you made the national team. You may be Trayvon and be in the national team and not have a navy blue shirt yet, because there's going to be some sort of, you have to All-American at Super 32 or Fargo or Tulsa or do something high level. You have to attend so many practices in a season, things like that. And black shirt is going to be reserved for kids that, like, my thought is we give about 3 black shirts a year. Okay. Or navy shirt, sorry, I said navy. So, again, this stuff is designed to help you guys, okay, as much as it's designed to help us. You know, Trayvon won a Triple Crown, you're doing this, you're doing that, what's the next thing you're working for? You should really be working for that navy shirt, right? Or you've won Greco State, you've won this stuff, you've got your Triple Crown, like, what are you working towards next? Okay, well now you need to really focus in and hone in on placing at Super 32 so you can get that navy shirt. Because there's only 3 or 4 kids walking around these buildings in that navy shirt. Okay? The younger kids, it's more about incentivizing them to kind of stick with it. Okay? The older kids, it's about, okay, you've shown us that you can win a Triple Crown. You've shown us that you can do some high-level things, but what's the next step for you? You know, prior to high school, what's your next goal? You've done the Triple Crown. Well, let's go place it at USA Nationals so you can get that navy shirt. Stuff like that, okay? So, those are not going to be readily available. Those are not going to be able to be bought. Those are going to be able to, that's a, you know, high-level stuff, okay? The last one is a mentorship program. I talked about this a little bit at the last meeting. We're going to send out a form. A lot of your kids like to come early. They like to help out. They like to be a part of coaching. I think there is that very, very good benefit to teaching other kids to do what you know how to do. Just on a life skill level, but even for your wrestling, if you're having to teach, I know as a coach, and Matt can tell you this, and any coaches, once you start coaching, all of a sudden you're like your wrestling knowledge goes like through the roof, because you're like, holy crap, why didn't I think of this when I was wrestling? Because you have to explain it to somebody else, right? So we're gonna have a form that kids can fill out if they want to help out with the Pee Wee class, if they want to come help with the beginners class, if they want to come, you know, Coach Sean needs help, I need you to, you know, fill out this form and come help me with these younger guys. Okay? Dallas does it all the time. I know some of you have seen Dallas. He helps me all the time. Nate Rio he gets mad at me for making him come out there all the time. Okay? But if you do, there's going to be, again, some criteria, but if you do 25 mentorship, you know, you come to 25 practices, help out, and you have been selected. This isn't just any people that want to just, all of a sudden I've got 45 kids want to help with my Pee Wee class, I've got 6 Pee Wees, okay? That's not what this is. There's gonna be an application, and again, you'll get a t-shirt if you apply, you get your 25 in and do that, okay? I'm acting like t-shirts are gold, but it's just something to incentivize kids. Like, they're gonna wanna walk around that. Not everybody's gonna have that shirt. Okay, we're trying to teach them life skills as well, and helping other kids out is a pretty good life skill, all right? So that mentorship program, we'll have an application for that. And Coach and I will pick a few people each year to do that. Okay. A few other things. We have sponsorship forms. I don't know if Holly has any here. If not, I'll get her some. We take sponsorships and people are like, well, you charge us this, why would we? I don't make you sell candy bars. I don't want you to sell me any candles. I hate when the kids come around with trash bags in my neighborhood. It's not that. I have a scholarship most of you have seen that we set up. We give each outgoing senior $500 scholarship. Okay? And in the past, it's been 1 or 2 seniors. Now we're getting up into the 8, 9 seniors, 10 seniors, things like that. We want to fund that through sponsorships. Okay? So if you have a business, or grandpa has a business, or you just, your friend down the street needs to donate some money to something. A lot of times, guys, if you know people and you ask, I donate money to all kinds of golf outings and I don't even know, all year, okay? But if you get me a sponsorship, I don't care what it is, $500 sponsorship, $100 sponsorship, and you bring it to me in this business, once I have the form and you'll read what they need to do, okay? I will give you 10% of that sponsorship towards your fees. So if it's a $500 sponsorship, you get $50 off your month, okay? And that helps fund, again, I'm not taking that, that's our scholarship. You'll see throughout the year, we'll do scholarship fundraisers. I think last year we sold cups, had a lock-in, things like that. So that is the purpose of that. So if you know somebody, it's greatly appreciated if you can bring one of those in and help us fund that, because it's getting quite high anymore, how many of those we have to hand out. What else have I missed?
Yearly membership fee.
Yearly membership fees. We do this every year in November. November, you guys have gotten used to it. I think you know about it. It's on our website. We have a one-time yearly membership fee. You need to fill that out before the first practice as well. It's online registration, and that is a one-time fee. That'll cover you till next November, okay? So before you come to practice, I need that registration done online. Make sure you have signed up for the email list if you're not getting that. And then those 3 pages back before you come to next practice, which will not be tomorrow, it's Halloween, okay? Go trick-or-treating, enjoy that. Tuesday, we'll start the schedule that you see on this. Something about that schedule. The website is not updated. So if you're used to looking on the website to see what time you gotta go practice, it's not up to date yet. Okay, look at this, please, the one I gave you today. Follow it. I will get it up on the website, but this is the schedule starting Tuesday. Everybody got that? Okay, I missed something else.
Ryan, that one-time fee, maybe I misremember, I was thinking we brought a check last year, was it?
No, you did it online on the website.
It was all online. Maybe you did it before, but I moved it to online.
Yep.
So it's online.
I think it's still. Do you want them to use the same registration link?
Yes, they can.
It says 2021, 2022
Oh,
registration.
sorry. Yeah, just use that link. It'll separate it for me, and you'll.
It's $60 for one child, or I believe $85 for a family.
So that is that. Anybody got questions on any of this stuff?